And good evening and welcome to ScareCON Sunday Synopsis for Sunday, September the 26th. And now, let me be the first person to wish you a very happy Halloween. Yeah, we can say that now because Halloween season has started. We've been to our first Halloween scare attraction and scare event. We'll talk a bit more about that later, what happened on Friday. But yes, we've been to our first event, so Halloween has officially started. So obviously over the last few weeks there's been quite a lot of news as we build up towards Halloween. And again, a bit like last week, there's not a lot at the moment because obviously things are now getting very, very close to opening. But let's start with a weird week for the Isle of Wight of all places. So most people will know Terror Island down at Blackpool on the Isle of Wight. Well, this week we've seen quite a few different events suddenly appear on the Isle of Wight. So last week we talked about the project, and then this week we've seen the Nightmare on Haven Street, which is at Falconry on the Isle of Wight. And then there's also an event called Park of the Dead at Puckpool Park, also on the Isle of Wight. So this tiny little island, which until a few years ago never had a scare attraction before, has now suddenly got 4 different attractions. So yeah, if anyone is going over to the Isle of Wight, do check those all out. They're all running over mainly the last weekend of Halloween. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's going on there. Back on the mainland, over up in London, so Colab Theatre Productions, they've announced a show called Echoes. They normally do a Halloween show. We sent some of our guys along last year. It was genuinely terrifying. So terrifying actually that the guys we sent last year, I'm not sure if they want to go back again. That's a pretty good testament to how scary the event was. But that's good. Then the new show by Colab is called Echoes, and that will be held in a location in London. Also announced this week, well, announced last week, but we've had some more details of the House of Frankenstein After Dark event. Now, when we visited House of Frankenstein the first time, we said it would be really good if they put some live actors in and stuff like that. Well, that's exactly what they're doing for Halloween. There's going to be live actors around the building, and then down in the basement is going to become an extreme basement experience. So it means, there's definitely chances for them to hide some actors down there and have some really good scares. So that is at the House of Frankenstein in Bath. This week also saw the launch of the first real live immersive experience from the guys at Swamp Motel. So you may remember all during lockdown we did the Plymouth Point, or it was called the Iskander trilogy, the Mermaid's Tongue. They're a really, really good event. So they're actually doing something called The Drop. Tickets are now on sale. Very mysterious, but it feels like it's going to be quite dark and a bit spooky. So do check them out. They're opening in November. This week also saw, after the escape room that we went to last week, No Escape London, we've seen another escape room launch a Halloween makeover. So Hounds escape rooms, which are very near Crawley, very near Tully's, they've announced Hounds After Dark, which will be extra dark and extra scary. So that sounds good fun. If you like your escape room scary, definitely check those out. Obviously last Halloween we were in lockdown, and there was a lot of online events and experiences starting, and obviously Morpheus Show UK started with their first show, which was All Hallows Eve, which was a bit about trick-or-treating. It was like friendly witches, spooky monsters and whatever. That show is coming back. So after that, they then did a number of different shows. We've done nearly all of the experiences at Morpheus, but they're bringing back All Hallows Eve, and that's a great one for slightly younger audiences and families, but definitely give that a go. Talking of families and family events, so Blackpool Pleasure Beach have obviously got Journey to Hell Freak Nights, and obviously last week we announced all the 9 different parts to that. They're also doing they used to call it Vampire Beach, but it's now just Halloween at Blackpool Beach, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. They've got the giant werewolf back, and they've got a few extra shows and a bit of atmosphere and lighting. So that's running throughout October. So, well, let's talk about Friday. So, as we said, we were at the press launch for Psychopath. We went a couple of years ago, absolutely loved the event. We've said it before, the atmosphere around the main arena is absolutely buzzing. The guys are nightclub promoters, nightclub operators, so they know how to entertain people. So there was always a lot going on the stage. What they've also done is change the route so that all the attractions can be reached from the main area, which means you don't have to go off in a van like we did last year. But probably the biggest change that we noticed was the acting talent was so much stronger this year. Last year there was a lot of just, that the sort of generic noise that a lot of scare actors make, that sort of guttural click and, strange sort of noise. This year the actors were really allowed to talk, inhabit their parts. They were allowed to touch. It was quite freaky, obviously, after 18 months of being in lockdown, to be touched in a maze and grabbed. Really genuinely scary. So well done to the guys at Psychopath for taking the event in a slightly different direction to how it was heading last year. So look out for the full review on that soon. But of course, while we were up there, it was interesting. We just joined a queue line at the same time as Joe Brack, who's one of the guys who is behind Haunted House Newcastle last year, and also was one of the creative team behind Phobia in Newcastle. So of course we asked him, and we said, what's going on? Are these going to return this year? And he confirmed that neither of them are returning this year. So don't know about what will happen going forward, but absolutely neither Newcastle's Haunted House or Phobia Newcastle will be happening, which does mean that Psychopath is now the only event in Newcastle. Obviously slightly down south a little bit more in Teesside. You've got Scream Factory, which has been running for years. But yeah, it looked like Newcastle was going to be quite popular for a while, but now the only event there is Psychopath, because of course Tearing the Trees at Beamish has also cancelled for this year. So yeah, on the website you'll see our written review of No Escape London is now up. We've also now started doing our daily what's on, so we've got all the dates of what's due to open when. So every day there'll be an update of what's new, what's opening that day, what's opening for the first time that Halloween. So do look for that on our social media. And then our review of Psychopath will be up very soon. So there's only one thing left to say, in that there's only a month left and there are not many tickets left for the Thorpe Park Aftershock event. Don't forget, we have full exclusive hire of all the Fright Night activities, which would be the scare zones and the scare mazes for 3 hours exclusively and a party afterwards. So if you're looking to have some fun at the end of Halloween, that's November the 4th at Thorpe Park. It's in the evening, so tickets are selling fast and you can buy those at www.scarecon.org. So don't forget, usual rubbish, click the bell notification to get notifications, subscribe, do react if you're out and about and you're doing anything this Halloween. Do let us know, give us your comments in these videos, or send us a review. We always love to hear what other people think. And yeah, look out for a very, very, very busy few weeks. And so with that, we're going to sign off and we will see you next week. Goodbye.